Okay, under my new grow lights, I'm going to make another cobbler. This time I have some raisins soaking in the water that I am going to heat up the apples in to soften them a little and just get them hot before I put the topping. This is frozen. I didn't mark it, which is not a smart thing to do. It's either almond milk, and I took a bite of it, and it tastes like almond milk as opposed to the coconut milk. So I had some of that in the freezer, so I don't like to waste anything that so if I have like an overabundance of something that's not moving along, like coconut milk or almond milk, I'll just go ahead, and I had this in a quart size freezer bag. Well, I needed to get it going, I needed to get it thawed, but I don't want it warm to put in my cobbler topping. So I'm just trying to thaw it basically. So in order for me to get it out of the quart-size freezer zip bag, I took my good old mallet and I hammered it. What happens is you have to be careful because then you break the bag open. But anyhow, I managed to break it up enough where I could get it in the pan. So I had a little bit of coconut milk in the refrigerator. I put in the pan first. So that's what the story is with that. I'm just out of the coconut milk other than what I had in the freezer and a little bit in the refrigerator. So anyhow, this is the concoction of apples I'm going to use. I have 4 of the Red Delicious that is starting to look a little on the puny side. So I'm going to go ahead and throw those in. And here's 4 Northern Spies, and here is 5 of, I'm not sure, I want to say Golden Delicious. It's either Yellow Delicious or Golden Delicious. I'm not that much on remembering all the names of the apples, but point being, there's 3 different kinds of apples, and there's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 apples here, which I'm probably going to need a couple more because there's going to be bad places in the apples. Okay, there's my 2 quart, and I'm up above almost to the very top. I'm up past the 2 quart. It doesn't really matter about exactly how much apples that you put in. The main thing is that you want them to be able to cook. You don't want them too much in a 10 by 15 pan where it'll run over or not cook. Yeah, maybe pushing my luck a bit. That's 3 quarts of apples in here, and it's the juice of 1 lemon. So now I'm going to transfer it into the pan and add some sugar and spices. Okay, I have 3 quarts of apples, a variety of apples that have been coated with 1 lemon, the juice of 1 lemon, in the glass baking dish first, and then I had 5 tablespoons of spring water in the bottom of this pot, and I was soaking a half of a cup of raisins in that to soften them up. So I may need to add more water to this as I bring it to a slow boil. You want to just have it hot, and you want to cook it a little bit, before you put the topping on it because it's a cobbler. And so anyhow, I have on top of here 3 tablespoons of brown rice flour. I have 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of nutmeg. I sprinkled some sea salt over the top of that. It's optional. And so I think that's all that I have in there. And so I'm going to start cooking this. Okay, a quick blend. You want to, I'm going to do just a little bit more because you want to just blend your dry ingredients before you add the rest of it. The apples are coming along. I didn't add any more water. As you can see, there's not much juice on the bottom, but it's good enough where it didn't stick to the bottom. So I'm just going to get those a little bit hotter. And the almond milk, which is what I think it was, I tasted a chunk of it that I didn't label that I had in the freezer. I got it thawed enough. There's still some crystals in the in the almond milk here, a little bits of crystals, but it's not any problem. So there's my 3 slightly beaten eggs. I transferred my dry ingredients into a bowl, and I whipped up the 1½ sticks of butter in the food processor until it's like little peas. So this time you can tell the other one I bloopered on it. I used 2 sticks of butter by accident, so this time I just made a point to cut the 1 stick in half and put the other half in the refrigerator so I didn't make that mistake again. So that's what I'm going to do from now on, instead of putting both sticks out and taking a chance of using both of them. So I'm going to add the wet to the dry ingredients. And okay, now the wet is incorporated into the dry with a spatula, just enough to so you don't see any more dry ingredients, but not there it is. And you want to make sure and get all the goodies out of the pan, because that's your spices, your sugar, and your maple syrup in there. And it'd be a better choice if you had like a heat-resistant spatula to do it. I just try to carefully scoop it out with this, get it off the heat. And I do use a spatula, but this is not the best choice. There is better choices out there, the heat-resistant. It's ready to roll. I just have about 12 little patties on top. Okay, guys. There she be. Num num.